Previously on the last Pokemon Crystal SuperMON run. I have no access to fact checking while I'm doing these. And coming up, more important, we took their money as well. Welcome back to SuperMON. This is the series where we grab a Pokemon, give it 4 moves and 1 life, and see just how far we can get through Pokemon Crystal. Now today's run was requested by one of the wonderful HM friends of the channel, so a very big thank you to Pen Yellow, who asked that we run SANDSLASH, and we give SANDSLASH the nickname Sandy, so I am more than happy to oblige with that request, and I will try my absolute best to make this run as good as possible. With that, let's hand to the live run and see how we do. Now the first thing we're going to have to do is figure out some moves for our SANDSLASH. I am thinking Earthquake is a given, seeing as it's our best stab move, it's our only stab move that I'll pick. It's 100 base power, so that is almost as good as stab return, and we've got 100 in attack, so that's going to do a lot of damage. I'm thinking Swords Dance as well could be handy, so that we can increase our already very high attack. Maybe Body Slam, because we don't have the best speed in the world, so that will slow some other Pokemon down. And then I am a little bit unsure about move number 4. Part of me is thinking maybe something like Rock Slide to cover Lance's Dragonite. We're actually in a bit of a weird situation in this one. We don't have to worry about Thunder Wave, so a lot of the problems which we usually factor around are gone by our natural immunity to electric moves. So that does mean that we can set up in places where we probably couldn't set up before, but we do have that weakness to water and ice type moves, and a lot of Pokemon with Thunder Wave will also have either a water or an ice type move. I've done a little bit more thinking and I think I am set with those moves. I'm not sure if they are the best moves, but they are definitely the moves we will be going for. So we're going to pick up Rock Slide first, so that defaults into slots number 4. Then we'll do Earthquake, Body Slam and Swords Dance in that order. Kind of shocked actually that SANDSLASH doesn't learn any ground type moves via level up. They're all via TM, although that is early gen learn sets, isn't it? Where Stab is very much an optional second thought. Body Slam is a Gen 1 TM, which is why it's quite far down in the list, as is Swords Dance. I'm very glad that SANDSLASH is a Gen 1 Pokemon. Getting Swords Dance is ostensibly going to make some battles completely free. So we'll replace Sand Attack with Swords Dance, and now our Pokemon is all set up. So we are level 5 with 24 HP, holding a berry with Earthquake, Body Slam, Rock Slide and Swords Dance. 16 in attack, 17 in defense, 11 in special attack, 12 in special defense, and 13 in speed. This is the SANDSLASH we are running with. Make your predictions now. How far will we get? How many points will we obtain as we start SANDSLASH's SuperMON Challenge? So let us go. We're actually going to move Earthquake and Body Slam in the first battle, so they're in the other slots, but when will we get that first battle? It's anyone's guess at this point. We're not getting a battle all the way up to Mr. Pokemon at this rate. I meant just on Route 29, but oh, final tile, we get an encounter. We're going to plonk Body Slam in at this spot for now, just because we've got a lot of bugs and a lot of flying types where Earthquake is just not the best move. We will pick up the Poison Cure Berry just in case. Here's that mystery egg that we always end up getting. But in this version, we don't have to worry about the Togepi egg because we cannot get any Pokemon at all. Thank you for healing our 2 PP there for Body Slam. I'm sure that's going to be vital for getting through the first rival battle. We will take on a couple of encounters here, seeing as we had nothing at all on the way up. I say we'll take on encounters. I don't think the game likes the SANDSLASH, goodness me. It's like wearing a repel, isn't it? I don't think we've ever been so low on the encounters on the first 2 routes. Surely we must get another encounter soon, there we go. I just want to get up to level 6. I don't think we'll need it, but it's just nice to actually do some leveling up. Let's engage the rival in his first battle though. This one should be easy. I've given the rival Chikorita this time. Makes a change from having the Totodile. I think with having Swords Dance, we should be able to handle Chikorita. So also with it resisting our main stab move. That was the tie-break for between Chikorita and Totodile. Let us now name the rival triple question mark. We will have a little chat with Elm. Return the egg to him, he's never going to give it back. And we can be on our way to our first gym together. Now, I don't know how well we're going to do against Falconer because we aren't going to be able to have stab. But Rock Slide should be fairly good. It's all about whether he goes for Mud Slap or not. He shouldn't. But I always worry, especially in these types of challenges where you are able to permanently lose. I do worry all the time about good old Mud Slap. And now we're going in slightly under-leveled to the start of Falconer's gym. It should be fine. That's just because we didn't get so many wild encounters at the beginning. There's our first Rock Slide miss. But we are able to one-shot the Spearow after we connect with Rock Slide. Let's hope that's the only Rock Slide miss for quite some time. We know we can one-shot Pidgey with Rock Slide as well. Get ourselves up to the level cap. Heal with a potion. And we'll take Falconer on. First gym leader of the challenge. Flying type specialist leads with Pidgey. One shot on the Pidgey with a Rock Slide. How about on the Pidgeotto? It's going to be a two-shot. We'll finish off with a Body Slam, make sure we don't take any unnecessary damage. Zephyr Badge acquired, new level cap of 16, and we are up to 5 points on the board. I have noticed I always forget to announce the first set of points from Rival 1. Just shows how little I think about the rival in this game. He really is just an afterthought in every sense of the word. We'll skip Sprout Tower for now because I don't want to go down to a Bellsprout, and instead we'll head on to route number 32, I want to say, where we will do a little bit more training and we'll take on a few extra trainers compared to normal to make up for the experience we won't get in the Sprout Tower. I was just thinking about the Ursaring run going down this route, and I'm kind of annoyed because I was going to bring up the little tidbit of information that we've not had the Pokerus since SANDSLASH here on the channel, and I was going to make a whole thing about will we get the Pokerus this time, and then in the very last recording that we did together, that's what ended up happening, so I am a little bit peeved at that. I don't know why that popped into my head now, probably because I'd made a little mental note to remember the Pokerus when we came to this run. But it's strange how the game seems sentient at times. It knows what you want to do, and it loves throwing a little spanner in the works. It's like the other day on stream, I'm not sure if you caught that stream, it was probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago from the time of recording to this video coming out, and I was faking getting a shiny, saying look how easy it is to fake shinies in Game Hook by pausing and altering the DVs of wild Pokemon, just a little bit of a laugh. And then not 20 minutes later, we get a full odds legitimate shiny. And I look like a right so-and-so. Because then it looks like I faked another one. But nope, that one was completely legitimate. Threw me, completely took me out in my stride. But it just shows the game is listening at all times, isn't it? So we've left Union Cave and entered Azalea Town at level 15. That is perfectly cromulent enough to see us through at least the rocket section. Our first mini rocket section. It's a little taste of the tedium to come. So hopefully it won't feel like it takes too long. And of course we are in Azalea Town. So I will use this opportunity to thank all of the HM friends, not just Pen Yellow, for the support here on the channel. If you do want to join the HM friends, I do release the videos as soon as they come out for SuperMON, or as soon as they are ready, I should say, for SuperMON. Of course I release the videos as soon as they come out, but yes, I release them as soon as they're ready and uploaded and had a little check by a couple of people. Then they become available to all of the HM friends. So sometimes you can see the videos a couple of weeks early, other times it's a couple of days. But the option is always there if you do want to become a HM friend. I would be incredibly grateful if you did. But we will now get back to the action at hand. I don't want to plug it for too long. We have now hit the level cap. And we've only got a couple more rockets to go until we get up to the dizzying heights of 6 points. Now in the last run I wasn't feeling too great mentally. I'm sure you could have noticed with some of the things I was saying. But I'm actually in a really positive mood today. Having a good mental health day, so I'm going to make the most of it. I'm probably going to have an awful lot of fun throughout the course of this video, and I hope you all will too, as we have beaten up Team Rocket for the first time. we get our next point and we can go straight into the next gym. And I think it's going to be a case of full trainers here. We might not have got the experience points from those trainers, but we did get the stat experience, and more importantly, we took their money as well. And we can now take on Bugsy. Bug-type Specialist, of course, leads with Metapod. We'll fling a rock at Metapod. We'll fling another one at Kakuna. And then we'll fling a third one at Scyther. We have perfect aim on all of them, taking just a few HP of damage. Up to 9 points, and our level cap shoots right the way up to 20. Just in time as well, because we do have a Rival 2 just around the corner. I think we should be okay. It all depends on this pesky Ghastly, though, I reckon. Let us try and do a teeny tiny bit of setup on this Ghastly. Lick hasn't paralysed us. We will use an Earthquake now. And we are on to the Bayleaf. Ideally, I'm looking for Reflect on turn 1. That's fine, because we can get through the Bayleaf. And then even with Reflect, Rock Slide should one-shot the Zubat just like that. So the first rival battle went very well. We don't need to worry too much if we can set up before that Bayleaf comes out. I've just rewatched that clip back and it just shows I'm not lying when I say I pay no attention at all to the first rival. Of course, that was the second rival battle just there. I really could not give less of a care about Rival 1. He never ever, I say he never ever, there are occasions where we've lost to him, but they are in the under 1% of runs we have done. I think I can only remember 2 or 3 times off the top of my head where we've taken a reset to Rival 1, and one of those I think we were using Struggle the entire time, so it's no great surprise. I don't know why I've got Headbutt here. We don't learn Headbutt, we don't learn TMs, but I suppose it is a little bit of extra money, and it does keep the green haired man staring at the tree off our bags for a little while. Of course, he is still annoyed at us that we don't use his services anymore, but that does already bring us to our third gym together in a moment here in Goldenrod City. Again, I'm not expecting anything too bad from Whitney. We resist rollout. I think we're going to have a fairly good time here. As always with Goldenrod City, there are bunches of things we need to be getting on with. One of them is getting ourselves the Rental Abra so that we can teleport back and save a little bit of movement, because while we aren't against the clock, I really don't like walking around in this game, especially later on in game, because it's so flaming tedious. So we'll need the coin case for that, and while we're here, I see no harm in taking on the couple of trainers down at this end of the underground. That will mean we'll be able to save all of our experience points north of Goldenrod for after Whitney's badge. So that should hopefully mean we can get leveled up a little bit earlier in these runs. It's all about learning the routing still, even though we are now into quite a high number of SuperMON runs together. We're still going to be learning for a very, very long time. You got to think, in our time challenge runs, our classic challenges, we're still learning routing several years after the fact. Like, Snowy and I spent a lot of time this summer going through the routing, trying to pick out any optimizations that may come our way. And that has been a combined experience of goodness knows how long. I did my first Crystal Challenge run off camera, but on stream on Twitch actually, so semi on camera, back in 2021. So it's been 4 and a bit years for me. I don't know how long it's been for Snowy, and it's late at night, so I can't contact them to ask. But you get the gist. It's been a very long time. It's also been a very long time since we saw Whitney. Let's take her on. Goodbye, Clefairy, and hopefully goodbye, Miltank, in just a couple of hits. Not much damage at all there from the Whitney battle. It went exactly as we would expect. And we get the playing badge, new level cap of 25, and we are up to 14 points on the board. So far, so good for this SANDSLASH. Let's hope that the good times continue for even longer. There is one thing that bugs me about SANDSLASH, and that is that Earthquake's PP is so flaming low. We are only on 10 PP for this SANDSLASH, and that really just is not enough to go through some of the larger gauntlets where we need to have Earthquake as our main move. We will dispose of the Pseudo Widow. It's one of very few times we're actually able to one-shot it, so we'll take full advantage of that. We'll get the big hammer, and now I think we are more than strong enough to take on Sprout Tower. Now, I have realised I've not explained for quite a few videos why we do Sprout Tower. In this version of Pokemon Crystal, the SuperMON version, all of the HMs have been replaced by key items. That does include Flash, which has been replaced by the Lantern. And we need that in case we get as far as the Whirl Islands or maybe even a rock tunnel in Kanto. So that gives us the ability to see in the dark, and this escape rope here is a key item escape rope. You can see it's gone into here, and that means that we don't have to worry about getting dig from the national park when TMs are disabled and their only purpose is money. We did burn through a lot of PP there though, so we are going to have to do a quick PP heal in Violet's Pokemon Center before we eventually get into Ecruteak. We did get a whole level from Sprout Tower as well. In fact, almost exactly a level, which pales in comparison to that single Drowsy there. That does mean it's probably a good idea to just take on the Kimono Girls for the rest of our experience points pre-Morty, and then we can, of course, get the rest of our levels that we need, probably from the west of Johto in this instance. We have the weakness to Price's Ice-type gym, so we will go west for our next destination. We can't be thinking too far ahead though in SuperMON though. It could all come crashing down far sooner than you would like it to. So we have to try and keep our feet on the ground, keep level-headed, and only really think about the next couple of battles that are in front of us. I've taken on the wrong Kimono Girl here, but Earthquake should one-shot this Vaporeon, so we have no worries at all. And in fact, to be a little bit more efficient with our experience, we shall take on the final two Kimono Girls after we have beaten up Morty. I say after we've beaten up Morty, we could still go down. Nothing is guaranteed here in SuperMON. I don't think we need to hold on to any other item, so we will go and engage the rival in battle. So this is Rival 3, definitely Rival 3, and he leads with Haunter. We are going to try the same thing here because he probably will set up a curse here. So we'll try a Swords Dance. He's gone for Lick, interesting. Now he's gone for Curse. That means we had an extra turn of setup. That should hopefully then mean that Body Slam one-shots the Bayleaf, Body Slam one-shots the Zubat, and then we can one-shot the Magnemite with Earthquake. Probably a little bit of overkill there on the Magnemite, but we get through rival number 3. In fact, that was a very easy rival battle considering we do have a weakness to Bayleaf there. He kind of played ball by going for Lick first and not paralysing us, so I am very, very happy about that battle. You know that whinging I was doing about PP? It's happened in this gym as well. Rock Slide is just far too inaccurate to deal with even the gym trainers here. I didn't want to risk going down in a place like this. But we do now have 7 Earthquake PP for Morty. He is our 4th gym leader today, if I can count it would help. He does lead with Ghastly. Now, I am relying on outspeeding the Gengar here. We'll see if it happens. He's saving his Gengar to last as well. It didn't happen, but Hypnosis missed, and we get through Morty. 19 points acquired so far. We have a new level cap of 30. I think that means we can go in and finish the Kimono Girls. We've got 2 of them left. We have the Espeon, which will hopefully be as simple as a one-shot. And then we have the Jolteon, which definitely will be as simple as a one-shot. We could probably even get away with using a Body Slam and one-shotting. I think the only move that might not one-shot there would be Rock Slide. That gets us access to both HMO3, which is useless for us, and the Raft. The Raft will let us cross any bodies of water that we like. It will act just like Surf, except we don't need to catch a Psyduck in order to use the Raft. Now, because we've got the next level cap of 30, we're going to take on some trainers on routes to Chuck, but we don't need to take on quite so many in the routes before, because of course Chuck has a lot of mandatory gym trainers, and not only that, we have the Lighthouse to ascend before taking on Chuck as well. The Lighthouse is optional pre-Chuck, but I see no reason not to take it on, considering we will want to take on Jasmine very much before we take on Price. So we are going to be losing a little bit of effectivity with our experience points just for a little moment, but it will then all balance out in the end. We're not taking too much damage either from water gun there. That makes me feel a little bit better. So I've saved quite a few trainers, not only here in the lighthouse, but on the surrounding routes, so that after we defeat Jasmine, we're able to get a couple of very quick and easy levels from around Olivine City instead of having to go all over the shop to get them, because after we defeat Jasmine, we will get a level cap of 40. We do have good old Chuck to deal with before that though, so we will pick up the burly man's phone number so that we can easily move the boulders in Chuck's gym. We're probably going to skip Kaylee today as well, just because she is a water-type trainer and I don't particularly fancy taking on many trainers that have the type advantage over us, because they are a little bit riskier than the other trainers. We will get the secret potion, because we'll be going straight back to the lighthouse if we defeat Chuck, and we can go into Chuck's gym now. Now I think the plan for Chuck is to set up against his primate, and then try and one-shot the Poliwrath, because of course that Poliwrath is holding on to Surf, which could be kind of dangerous, so we'll do a couple of Swords Dances. He got a 5-turn Fury Swipes there, which is a little bit rude, but then we can one-shot the Poliwrath, one-shot the Primate as well, and we have a very nice Chuck battle there. That gets us up to 23 points and adds an entire level onto the level cap. Does also give us access to the air balloon. We can fly quite early on in game compared to our recent SuperMON challenges, and I'm going to take full advantage of that now by picking up some items. Now, in case you're wondering what items I picked up, it was the rare candy east of Newbark Town, the rare candy in the PP up in Violet City. I grabbed the charcoal from Azalea Town, and then I also grabbed the nuggets and the rare candy here south of Goldenrod. And then I sold the nuggets and the charcoal and bought a bunch of vitamins. It was 4 protein and 2 calcium to get us started. We will do another vitamin shop at some point throughout the course of this run, but we do get 2 free protein in the rocket section. Well, just after the rocket section. One is in Mahogany's Underground, the other is in the Ice Path. We get a free iron there as well, and there is 1 free calcium in the Dragon's Den after you defeat Darren. So I try and balance out those vitamins, knowing that we get some free en route that could be useful to us as well. Now we're going to be going into Jasmine at level 30. I don't think it will make any difference at all. I think Jasmine's going to be rather feeble in this one, I've got to be honest with you. So let's get out of here and let's make our way into our 6th gym together. So this is Jasmine. She is a Steel type specialist and she's going to lead with Magnemite. We'll use Earthquake on Magnemite, we'll knock it down in 1. Here comes another Magnemite, and there goes another Magnemite. Now, for the Steelix, I think we Swords Dance just a couple of times. Iron Tail has missed, and we get the one-shot victory. Up to 30 when we go, reaching the new level cap, but that level cap has now increased to a whopping level 40. We've got 26 points on the board as well, and now we can start heading back east towards the Lake of Rage. So we will pick up the Lake of Rage candy, of course that is just in front of that tree. We will pick up the elixir, we'll pick up the 2 TMs that are available here as well. Not so that we can use them, but so that we can sell them for some more money, because all the vitamins we can buy is better. The more vitamins, the better here in these challenges, because it means we get more stat experience, which means we boost our stats. So now that we've got that, we will very quickly, before taking on the Gyarados actually, do a quick fly to Mahogany so that we've got full PP and full health for the Gyarados, because he can be a little bit dangerous, and we will now take him on. Or we won't, because we're battling a fish first, goodness me. I thought we'd get away without a repel, it was only, what, 6 steps? Here is the Gyarados, let us use a Rock Slide, take it down, very low health, didn't need to heal after all of that because we flinched it, and we can have a little chat with Lancelot. He's going to tell us all about the nonsense going on in the Mahogany Underground, which is where I'm off to now. Now I wish I was recording that rocket section. We had some really close battles, it was a tussle all the way through. We came close to being knocked out a few times. we were having the time of our life in here, or am I just lying to make myself feel better about spending the last 5 minutes of my precious time here on Earth going through some absolute tedium? Whatever, it's done now though. Never get that time back, and we can go into Price's gym. Now, Price could genuinely pose a threat today. I know it's rare to say, but he has the type advantage over us, and stranger things have happened. We do have to get through his bodyguard, Border Douglas, first. Border Douglas does like using supersonic, so I'm very glad that we were able to flinch the cloister there, and we can now engage Price in battle. He is an Ice-type specialist, and he's going to lead with Seal. We're going to take advantage of the fact that Aurora Beam is not stab on Seal by setting up just a couple of swords dances. Probably overkill, but it's better to be safe than sorry in SuperMON. We can then one-shot the Dugong, out comes the Piloswine, one body slam later, we knock it out, we grow to 38, and we don't need to worry about Price. That gets our level cap staying the same actually, but it gets our points up to 30. We are now almost a third of the way through the challenge. We have 7 badges to our name. Professor Elm has given us the call, and that means just one thing. It's time for a trip through the ice path. And now here in the ice path are the items I mentioned earlier. There's an iron here. I don't know who's leaving their appliances in an icy path, but we will pick it up. There's a protein here. And then there's a delicious PP up over there as well. PP ups in this game are so bloomin' rare, but they are so useful, not only in SuperMON, but in regular challenge runs as well. I do want to pick up some max repels while we're here. 12 should be enough. And then on the road down from Blackthorn, we actually pick up a few items as well. We grab that elixir, because that is always very useful in the league and in the rocket section to save a bit of time. There's another nuggets there, and now if we cross the road correctly and not in the wrong spot like I did there, follow this path down here, there's a PP up in this lake just here as well. So that gives us 3 PP ups pre-league. We will stick another one in Earthquake, and then I think we will stick one in Body Slam as well. Rock Slide really is our last resort move. We'll be using it probably for Lance, but not really for anyone else. And now if we weren't the ground type, I'd be picking up this Paralyzed Cure Berry from the tree as well. We don't need it because Thunder Wave won't affect us, but that gives us our second berry pre-league. And with that picked up, it is now back to Goldenrod, where we can go into the underground and we can take on the 4th and hopefully penultimate rival battle. This time he is going to lead with Golbat, so we've got to hope that Rock Slide connects because we are not risking being confused. It has connected, so we knock it out in 1. Here comes Meganium. Now, we don't really have a good answer for Meganium, so we're just going to Body Slam. Poison Powder's annoying, and then we get hit by the Razor Leaf because we low rolled. That should be the only damage we really take in this battle though, because we can one-shot the Magnemites, we can one-shot the Sneasel as well, and we can one-shot the Haunter. Triple Question Mark was defeated, but he is going to make us waste some of our heals, and now we've got even more Team Rocket to do. And by that I mean just the executive here at the very top of the tower. He doesn't have a name in this generation, and he's got 3 Pokemon all weak to the ground type. So this will be a very simple battle. I do think actually a lot of people are sleeping on the ground type in Generation 2. It's very powerful. The worst status move to hit you in Gen 2 is Thunder Wave, and being immune to it is absolutely fantastic. It means that we don't have to worry about Claire, we don't have to worry about Jasmine, we don't have to worry about Lance's Thunder Waving Dragonite as well. So it does give us a really big leg up compared to the other types. It does make me wonder how a Pokemon like Diggersby would fare, being both stab normal and stab ground. We could probably actually do a lot of damage. And defeating Team Rocket does mean we can now take on Claire in Blackthorn Gym. I'm not expecting Claire to go too far wrong unless the Dragonair crits with Surf, because my plan is to set up a Swords Dance against the first Dragonair and then try to sweep. I would go in holding the soft sand, but I've grown fond of the fact that we are still holding on It's the very first berry we got when we got this Pokemon from Professor Elm. So this is Claire. She does lead with Dragonair. We'll set up a Swords Dance. We can probably set up 2. That Surf's not going to crit. Oh, we've used up the berry now. That's fine. The berry has more than served its purpose. She's going to go through her Dragonair now. We outspeed the Kingdra, and we've got one last Dragonair. A very nice Claire battle there, and that does mean we can rush through to the Dragon's Den to try and get our next set of points. But of course, before getting the next set of points, we're ambushed by this git. We can one-shot his Dragonair. Goodbye, Darren. You're terrible. I'm going to dance in front of you. That's how terrible you are. Anyway, moving on. We'll grab this Max Elixir. It'll come in useful at some point, I'm sure of it. And we will make our way through this whirlpool. Into the Dragon's Den we go, where we will answer the brief little survey of 11212. And that will, of course, mean that Claire will come into the Dragon's Den, shocked as she always is, that we know how to raise a Pokemon. She will fling the Rising Badge our way, getting our points up to 36, and we now have a new level cap of 42. Now, before taking on the league, we are going to pick up a couple of extra rare candies. The first one does, of course, live here in Mount Mortar, in the back of the waterfall. And the second is in the Whirl Islands, just over here. And with both of those, we can go into Victory Road, where the first item we're going to pick up is this HP up. I don't think we actually need anything from in here today, apart from that, so we will now engage the rival in battle for a 4th time. This time he is going to lead with Sneasel, and Sneasel is just free setup. We will use a pair, well, I misclicked there, so we're using a trifecta of Swords Dances. Now absolutely nothing will stand in our way. Even a resisted Earthquake on the Meganium still took it down in one shot. Unnecessary crit there against the Golbat. We'll one-shot the Kadabra. We will use Earthquake against the Haunter, and that just leaves Magneton left to go. Another one-shot seals the rival's fate once and for all, and we have defeated him, and we can enter into the league. We will heal up whether we need to or not. We will procure our 4 full restores from the man at the Pokemart, and we'll park ourselves at the stairs so that we can take a look at our stats. We are level 42 with 141 HP, holding the Bitterberry with Earthquake, Body Slam, Rock Slide and Swords Dance. We've got 120 in attack, 128 in defense, 74 in special attack, 83 in special defense and 87 in speed. Those are, of course, the out of battle stats. We will get a big buff in battle when we face Will. But before facing Will, let's do some league predictions. So starting off with Will, I think he should be a fairly simple affair. We'll hold on to the Bitterberry like we are now. That will give us at least one turn of setup against the first Xatu, and then we should be able to sweep with Body Slam and Earthquake. Maybe a Rock Slide if we need it against his flying types. Koga should be fine. We have the ground type. He is, of course, a poison type specialist. We can set up probably against the Fortress there, so that we guarantee a one-shot on the Muck and the Crobat. Again, we can have free setup on Bruno just by virtue of him having the Hitmontop with no fighting moves. Karen, who knows? We'll either win or we'll go down, and there's no real in-between. I appreciate that it's a binary outcome anyway, and those are the two options, but I think we'll either be in complete control of that battle, or we will struggle from start to finish and not get through. Lance, I don't know, honestly. If we can set up one turn of Swords Dance against the Gyarados, and then if every Rock Slide hits, it should be an easy battle. But he could go for Surf straight away, or we could miss a Rock Slide and end up being hit by a Blizzard. It's anyone's guess for Lance's battle. I think the only way to find out is to enter into the league. So of course this is Will. He is our first league member, a Psychic type specialist, and he's going to lead with a Xatu. We will set up the Swords Dance. He's gone for Confuse Ray, and we will Body Slam to guarantee the one-shots there. Up next is the Jinx. We know we can Body Slam her. Now, Executor could prove to be a bit of an issue. He's set up Reflect of all things. That's a little bit mean of him. We're going to set up a Swords Dance or two against this Slowbro and hope that he goes for Amnesia, which is fine. We don't have any special moves at all. Curse has faded, so we've stalled him out there. That means we can body slam the final Xatu, and we have a very simple will battle. Up to 42 points, I don't think we need to candy for Koga, and we will just give a PlayStation Network Cure Berry, just in case. This is Koga, second league member, Poison type specialist, leads with Ariados, of course. Now we are probably going to have to set up one Sword Stance against the Ariados. We'll go for Body Slam. We've hit through the double team, and we can Body Slam the Venom off as well. That thing I do believe can confuse us. Now against this Fortress, we'll use another couple of Sword Stances, predicting the Protects there. It won't turn into a bomb this time, and we get rid of it. We will Body Slam the Crobat. Interestingly, we didn't outspeed the Crobat there. And then we'll also just Body Slam the Muck. No sense in going through our stab moves if we can one-shot elsewhere. That's Koga done. On to Bruno. And yet again, I don't think we need to set up any rare candies against Bruno. I think this one should be absolutely fine, because we will Sword Stance, he will dig a hole once, we will Sword Stance 3 times, we can hit the Hitmontop underground, and then we're on to the Hitmonchan. We'll use Earthquake against all of these just to be extra sure. Although I'm sure that any of our moves would one-shot anything barring maybe this Machamp. We get through the Machamp, we grow to 44, and we can one-shot the Onix with Earthquake as well. That is Bruno, all defeated. And that means we can start our setup for Karen. I think the first thing we will do is use a full restore. We will then rare candy all the way up to the new level cap of 47. We will equip a HP up, and we will also make our SANDSLASH hold on to the final remaining Bitterberry we have. And that means we can now take Karen on. She is our final league member. She is of course a Dark type specialist who leads with Umbreon. We're going to set up a Sword Stance. We have been sand attacked, which isn't great, but we do manage to snap out of the confusion courtesy of the Bitterberry. Now if all of our moves hit, we will win. If our moves miss, we will lose. We're through the Vileplume, that's one of the scary Pokemon. We can Rock Slide the Murkrow, probably should have gone for Body Slam there, but it was much of a muchness. We will Body Slam this Houndoom, get rid of it straight away. And now on the Gengar, we need to hope that we don't get Destiny Bonded, which we don't. So we have defeated Karen. That feels very, very, very good. Let's use a full restore. We can use 3 of our remaining rare candies to get up to the level cap, and we can think about taking on Lance. Now there is a greater than 0 chance that we end up going down here. I think there's going to be some luck involved, but hopefully we'll be able to mitigate some of it. We'll set up a Sword Stance against the Gyarados, and then we'll Rock Slide it. Hopefully it will go down in 1. Here comes Dragonite number 1. Rock Slide has connected, so we get rid of it straight away as well. Now I'm going to set up a Sword Stance against this one, because I think this one only has Twister. That means we can then go on to Body Slam. We should be able to get through this Aerodactyl, even with an Omni Boost. He's gone for Wing Attack on this turn, that's fine. Nothing will bother us there. We'll Body Slam the Charizard, we outspeed so we can't get burnt. And then we can Rock Slide this final Dragonite. It goes down, and we have defeated Lance. Goodness me, I had to play a little bit smart there, remembering which Dragonites was which in the order he sent them out, but I think we played very, very well in the Johto section of this challenge. SANDSLASH gets its well-deserved spot in the Hall of Fame, and that means just one thing. It means don't you dare go anywhere, because Kanto is next. And we are, of course, rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we're doing in Kanto is taking on all of the brief storyline. When we do SuperMON, we take on the storyline to make sure that we can choose which gym leaders we battle in which order, because that way we can maximise the number of points that we can get. Because, of course, it is entirely possible for us to lose to a Cantonian gym leader. It's happened before, and I'm sure it will happen again. I won't spoil which video it happened in, but needless to say, I wasn't very happy. However, I am very, very happy with how SANDSLASH performed in the first half of the challenge. Despite its relatively limited coverage, we did very, very well together, getting through all of the tricky battles, which was no mean feat considering we have virtually no coverage whatsoever. And another thing I'm very happy with is how well SuperMON seems to have gone down with everybody. It is always a risk and it's always a gamble here on YouTube to change up the formula, especially to changing the entire style of challenge running that we're doing. Because we've been doing the original style for 3 years with many different tweaks on the format. But to go to something entirely different, to ditch the timer, that was a big risk, and I am extending a very genuine thank you to each and every one of you for your support here with SuperMON. Because I was worried, I was nervous as anything, thinking, what if nobody likes it? What if I'm committing to something and it's going to get like 2 views? That was a huge, big worry. In fact, so big that I repeat words and only have 2 words to say. That's how terrified I am of it, even now. But it has been an incredibly positive thing. And I've got to say, it's not the only new challenge. We, of course, have the new 4 moves time challenge as well. That's going to be replacing our egg move and our Unbound series. So we're not going to be doing egg moves anymore as its own side series, and we're not going to be doing Unbound. We are going to be doing those for our main kind of try-hard time challenges in Pokemon Crystal, and I've had a little look at this month's schedule, and I've been able to fit in a couple of classic style challenges as well. So the ones where we go through the entire line, if it's got an evolutionary line, we catch the HM friends. We've got a couple of those challenges coming up later this month as well, and it's been far too long since we've taken one of those on. Could you believe the last main series or classic series challenge that we took on was the Togepi challenge? And I will challenge you now to tell me when that Togepi challenge was, because it was a very long time ago. Now, because we are already in Pewter City and it's a little bit out of the way, we will take on Brock now. He should be absolutely A-OK. We do get through Camper Jerry there, and we are, just to be extra safe, going to hold on to the soft sand. So this is Brock. He is our first Cantonian gym leader, and he will lead with Graveler. And it's a one-shot on the Graveler to knock it out. We move on to the Omastar. We knock that out in one shot as well, and we come on to Kabutops. If we one-shot the Omastar, we are absolutely going to one-shot the Kabutops. We say goodbye to Rhyhorn. That just leaves his Onix left to go. Even with all of its bulky defense, we knock it out, and we get our first set of Cantonian points, up to 67 points on the board. And now the last places we need to unlock here in Kanto are Cinnabar Island, Pallet Town, and Fuchsia City. And we will do that right about now. We'll have a little chat with Blue. He will make his way back to Viridian Gym, where we'll take him on as our final gym leader if we get that far. We'll grab the rare candy from here, and now it's a little surf east to the Seafoam Islands, where Blaine is going to be waiting for us. Now, Blaine is a fire-type specialist. We're a ground-type trainer in this challenge. We can put 2 and 2 together here and know that we are going to have a very simple battle on our hands. We get rid of the Magcargo in one shot, of course it's quad weak to ground. The Bumhead Fire Duck goes away, and then we outspeed the Rapidash to knock it out as well. And we obtain our next badge, our next set of 3 points, getting up to 70. And now it's just a very quick surf to Fuchsia City, where we're going to take on yet another gym leader. This is Janine. She is, of course, everyone's favourite pushover. She's a poison-type specialist. She's significantly underleveled compared to all of the other Kanto gym leaders, and that just means we're in for a very good time. We get rid of the Crobat with a Rock Slide. We'll Body Slam the Ariados. We will also Rock Slide the Venomoth as she uses her dire hits to waste her money. And then we've got a pair of Earthquakes for a pair of Wheezing. Growing up to level 53 in the process, we say goodbye to Janine. We thank you for your badge and the extra 3 points, and now we can leave her gym and think about our next steps. Now we've got 5 gym leaders left, the easiest of which is going to be Lieutenant Surge. He is guarded by Gentleman Gregory here, but he's only got a Pikachu and a Fluffy, so it's nothing really to write home about. Surge should be a very easy gym leader. I cannot imagine anything going wrong here at all. because he is an electric type specialist. We're immune to electric type moves. We outspeed the Raichu rather to get us started, and we move on to Electrode. So one shot on Electrode and we outspeed, that's a very good sign. Electabuzz goes down in one, so he's going to send out his Magneton next. Magneton can do nothing, we grow up to level 54, and we have the next Electrode as well. Another nice and simple gym battle there, getting us up to 76 points in total. And that just leaves 4 Kantonian leaders left to go. We've got Sabrina, we've got Misty, we have Erica, and we have Blue. Now, we don't have the type disadvantage to Sabrina, but things could go wrong there. We have the type disadvantage to Misty, of course, so that could be all kinds of terrible, and we have the type disadvantage to Erica as well. So I think for now, I'm going to get on with Nugget Bridge. And the reason we're doing Nugget Bridge is because we'll be able to get up to level 55 doing this. We've got 3 rare candies in the bag, 2 that we've picked up here in Kanto, and then 1 left over from the Johto section. And those combined will mean that we'll be able to get all the way up to the level cap of 58, so that we're at the best possible chance of taking on and getting through some of the trickier Kantonian gym leaders. We cannot afford to rest on our laurels at all with these Kanto gym leaders. They are a little bit stronger than you would think when you're playing with a level cap. When we do our time challenges, of course, we're completely uncapped. So we're going into the Kanto gyms a lot more over-leveled than we can do here in SuperMON. So we've got to adapt our strategy. We've got to adapt our thinking to this different style of play. That hard-coded level cap can be incredibly vicious. So let us now use our 3 rare candies here, get ourselves up to level 58. I really hope that this will be enough to see us through to at least Blue. I reckon once we're at Blue, if we can get through him, we might be able to have a good time at Red, because we will be able to set up against the Pikachu. The only thing it will be able to do is hit us with Quick Attack. So if we're holding the lefties, we could be in with a really good shout of having a SuperMON on our hands. Of course, things can change and spanners can be thrown in the works. However, I do think we are in with a half-decent chance at the very least. And now, because we are at the level cap, it doesn't really matter the order we face our next 3 gym leaders. So we're going to go into Misty's gym, and we're going to give it a go. This is Misty. She is a water-type specialist, and she leads with Golduck. Good news is we can one-shot the Golduck. Out comes Quagsire. We're going to set up a Swords Dance, because it will go for Amnesia. That should mean we now have the rest of the battle sealed, because we can get rid of Lapras and we will outspeed and one-shot the Starmie. There we go, first gym with a real type disadvantage, getting us up to 79 points on the score. And I think up next will be Sabrina. We will go in a kind of L shape for these 3 gym leaders, and Sabrina is our next one in line. Because we've got spinners turned off, it's always guaranteed we'll get a clear run through to Sabrina. She is a Psychic type specialist, and she's going to lead with Peskeon. We one-shot the Peskeon and we outspeed, so we're already doing better than that run, if you know the one I'm talking about. And in fact, it's 3 one-shots, 3 outspeeds, 3 one-shots. We get up now to 82 points, and we can leave with our heads held high. That means we can now head over to Celadon City, where we have our final regular gym leader. She is of course guarded by a bunch of trainers. Now, unlike Misty, where we were able to hit for neutral damage, Grass does resist the ground type, so we are in a little bit more danger than we were against Misty, but I'm hoping that Erica's Tangela will be so bad that we won't need to worry too much about it. We could get sent to sleep, though, by the Tangela, which is a little bit of a worry, so we will try our best. Of course, Sleep Powder is not 100% accurate. Unlike Spore, now this Parasect is drinking us. It's my own fault for just holding down onto the A button. Let us use... Do we have anything lower than a full restore? We've got some super potions there. We do have a Minceberry. We're still holding on to a Minceberry from Johto. Let us use that against Erica. She is our final regular leader, and she leads with Tangela. We'll set up a Swords Dance. She has sleep powdered like we expected her to, but we had that Mint Berry as a backup all the way from the Moo Moo farm. We can one-shot the Jumpluff there. We'll use Earthquake on the Victory Bell, and we will use Body Slam against the Blossom. Nice. We have gotten through all of our standard Cantonian gym leaders, up to 85 points now. Let's leave here and let's get ourselves back over to Viridian City. And it is here where we find our final gym leader of the challenge. This is Blue. He could be a little bit pesky, you know, so we are going to hold on to the leftovers just to try and give ourselves the best chance of survival. So let's now take him on. He is our final gym leader of the challenge, and he leads with Pidgeot. We are going to set up a couple of Swords Dances against this Pidgeot. As he is mirror moving them, we'll go to Body Slam next, and we'll knock it out in one. Gyarados is next. I think 2 Swords Dances is enough for Body Slam to knock out as well. We'll use another Body Slam against the Executor, and I think we might have high rolled there. I'm not 100% sure on the numbers. We can get rid of Alakazam. We will Earthquake the Arcanine. That is nice and simple. And then we can also Earthquake the Rhydon. So we are going home with at least 90 points to our name. That was a very, very easy Blue battle, actually. I loved that his AI went for Swords Dance twice. It meant that we were damageless in that Blue battle. That does, of course, mean we can have a little chat here with Professor Elm. He will unlock Silver Cave. This is our final destination of the challenge. And now I think we have done incredibly well so far over the last 50 minutes or so with our SANDSLASH. We've gotten through some very, very tough battles. We've gotten through some very, very easy battles. We did, of course, get past the hurdle that was Karen. We got past Lance using our brains for once in one of these challenges. And now we are on our way to Silver Cave. Let us use the Lantern for the third time actually in this challenge, because we went into the Whirl Islands, and we will start thinking about our strategy for Red. I am feeling good about this battle, you know. We do have his Pikachu as his lead. He likes to keep his Pikachu in as well, and that does mean that we can go to town on Swords Dance to get our attack as high as possible, and then just try to sweep. There is, however, one thing I need to do before taking him on. I will use the Candy Jar to get us up to 81. Candy Jar used, it all comes down to this. We're going home with a minimum of 90 points to our name. This is Red, the final trainer of the challenge, and he leads with Pikachu. He's gone straight for Quick Attack instead of going for Charm. That means we can set up 3 Swords Dances, and Charm has failed. We'll use Earthquake against Pikachu now to knock it out in one single hit. And up next is a Venusaur of all things. We will use another Earthquake, we'll dispose of it straight away, and we can get rid of the Blastoise. We can calm down a bit now. We have gotten through the 3 hardest Pokemon. We outspeed the Espeon, we can get rid of that as well. We'll use another Earthquake on the Snorlax. It's going to one-shot, we are at maximum attack. And then we will use a Body Slam against this Charizard. Swords Dance is that overpowered. We have defeated Red, and we get to 100 points. And you know what that means? That means that SANDSLASH is a SuperMON. I've put SANDSLASH at the very top of the leaderboard for now until we do our tie-break runs, because I think we had our best and smoothest run to date. Everything just went well. I played well, even if I do say so myself. SANDSLASH played equally as well, and we got a very well-deserved first place. I believe that is our first pure physical attacking SuperMON as well, so SANDSLASH has something even extra to be proud of. Now, if you have enjoyed this run, please do make sure to leave a like on the video. If you want to see more runs just like this, you can always click subscribe. If you want to see more runs just like this but a little bit earlier, you can join the channel membership and become a HM friend. As soon as the SuperMON runs are ready to go out, they will be released to channel members. Sometimes it's a couple of days, sometimes it's a couple of weeks before their due date out. And of course, if you've got any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. But with all that said and done, we are done for this video. So I will say a very big thank you to each and every one of you for your support on this video. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I will catch you all very, very soon.